What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit.
It started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
LeBron, he's too big to be that type of bully. To bully Stephen A. and to bully Brian Windhorst. Brian Windhorst is a sweet person, man. He's just trying to do his thing. And I've always liked LeBron, but him being a bully, it turned me off, Dan.
LeBron James just can't catch a break out here. Now, Charles Barkley is jumping in, throwing shots at LeBron, and he had a lot to spill about him. If you missed the tea, LeBron's been in a spicy feud with Stephen A. Smith after Stephen said something about LeBron's son, Bronny. Everybody knows LeBron doesn't play when it comes to his family, especially his kids. So he snapped on Stephen during a game, and the drama exploded even more. But Stephen isn't the type to back down from messy drama, so he clapped back and called LeBron out on his BS. And that's when it turned into a full-on showdown. They started going back and forth, and it turned into a hot mess real quick because LeBron wasn't backing down. Now Charles Barkley just stepped into the ring and blasted LeBron for trying to bully Stephen. Charles is saying LeBron is doing way too much, and it's got him thinking LeBron is hiding something behind all this drama. Charles said there's more to this story that LeBron isn't telling us, and it's got people talking. So what did LeBron say that got Charles so mad? And what's the truth LeBron might be hiding from everyone? Let's get into it. Charles Barkley is standing up for Stephen A. Smith against LeBron and the big machine behind him, no matter what it costs. It makes sense why Charles would feel this way, because LeBron recently popped up on the Pat McAfee podcast to air out his issues with Stephen. This is wild because LeBron isn't the type to be giving out interviews like candy. Apart from courtside chats or promo interviews, you barely catch him on podcasts. So when fans found out he was pulling up on Pat McAfee, everyone knew he was about to fire shots at Stephen, and LeBron did not disappoint. During that interview, LeBron did the most to make himself look like the victim in all this, while trying to paint Stephen as the big bad aggressor. LeBron claimed he was just a dad protecting his family and that he had no choice since Stephen came for his family, period.
It's obviously to you and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're watching it.
Yep.
We're all
Oh, yeah.
we're all, you're seeing it as well.
And that laugh LeBron did, followed by that Taylor Swift comment, you just knew he was about to go off on Stephen, and he really let him have it. LeBron didn't even try to hide the shade, throwing it loud and clear for everyone to see.
It started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players. And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about him again. Oh my God.
But the twist? LeBron didn't get the reaction he wanted. He clearly thought people would rally behind him because he's the GOAT, but instead, folks were siding with Stephen and saying LeBron took it too far. Charles Barkley is riding with Stephen, and during a recent live stream, he called out LeBron for being a bully.
Who had a better week, LeBron James or Stephen A. Smith?
They both had an awful week. LeBron, he's too big to be that type of bully. To bully Stephen A. and to bully Brian Windhorst. Brian Windhorst is a sweet person, man. He's just trying to do his thing. And I've always liked LeBron, but him being a bully, it turned me off, Dan.
It's wild how this drama has turned into a storm, because when it first kicked off, it felt like something that would die down in a couple of days. But here we are, and it's still heating up. Here's how it all started. Stephen A. Smith had something to say about LeBron putting way too much pressure on his son Bronny's shoulders just because he thinks it'd be cool to share an NBA court with him. If you know LeBron, you know he's never hidden his dream of playing alongside Bronny, but Stephen saw right through that, not because a father-son duo in the league is a bad idea, but because he believes Bronny just isn't ready for all that heat yet. And let's be real, being the son of arguably the greatest basketball player of all time is already a tough spot to be in. Expectations are heavy, and Stephen wasn't afraid to say it out loud. Bro's name stays in everybody's mouth, with all eyes glued on him every second, and he wasn't even a top draft pick. Stephen A. believes LeBron should have let Bronny stay in the G League to develop his skills instead of rushing him straight into the NBA spotlight. Stephen thinks tossing Bronny onto an NBA court before he's fully ready could actually mess up his growth as a player in the long run. He's been loud about his doubts when it comes to Bronny being ready for that NBA smoke. According to Stephen A., there are plenty of young players out there grinding hard for a shot at the league, kids who in his eyes might deserve that opportunity more than Bronny. And while Stephen's take might sound harsh to some, he's far from the only one saying it. A lot of folks have been saying the same thing about Bronny's spot in the NBA.
Bronny should stay in college. Because if it's about Bronny, right now he is not up there to be no top pick, which means his name is not going to be called.
The likelihood of your son being able to be what you were is not likely.
The bottom line to all of this, right now he is not an NBA level player.
And get this, it's not even the first time Charles Barkley has spoken up about LeBron. Charles already dropped his 2 cents about whether Bronny is truly ready for the NBA. He called out the Lakers for how they've handled Bronny's situation, saying they should have eased him in slow instead of throwing him straight into the fire. Charles thinks Bronny would be way better off staying in the G League, sharpening his game and proving himself first. That way, when he finally steps onto that NBA court, it's because he truly earned that jersey, not just because he's got a legendary father backing him.
Bronny's a prospect. Number one, I'm glad he's healthy. I think he should be in the G League. He's not ready to play in the NBA right now.
And it's expected he will spend.
And he should be in the G League because he's not ready to play in the NBA first and foremost. But secondly, there's going to be some guys coming for his head. And he's not ready because he's really a tweener. He's a point guard, 2 guard. His probably best attribute right now is being a defender. But I think to take the pressure off him and let him get better as a player, he should be in the G League.
And before anyone tries to twist this into some jealousy drama against LeBron, it's not that. A bunch of people have said the exact same thing about Bronny's NBA journey. Take ESPN's NBA draft analyst Jonathan Givney, for example. He broke down exactly why Bronny got dropped from last year's pro prospect list, and the details are wild. During an appearance on NBA Today, Jonathan explained that Bronny was doing as well as anyone could expect, especially since he was coming off some serious health setbacks. Jonathan said, "I love Bronny James's game still. We have to remember that this kid missed 4 months with a heart issue starting in July. It really seemed to have derailed his season. Because of this, Bronny ended up getting removed from the list, and LeBron was not having it. LeBron went off on everyone involved, accusing them of hating on his son. He even jumped on Twitter and posted, "Can you please just let the kid be a kid and enjoy college basketball? The work and results will ultimately do the talking no matter what he decides to do. If you don't know, he doesn't care what a mock draft says. He just works. Earned, not given." LeBron also dropped another message saying, "And to all the other kids out there striving to be great, just keep your head down, blinders on, and keep grinding. These mock drafts don't matter one bit. I promise you, only the work matters. Let's talk real basketball, people." But Stephen A. Smith wasted 0 time calling LeBron out for that rant. He straight up blamed LeBron for all the negativity that keeps following Bronny around, saying the kid is just out here trying to focus on his game, but LeBron keeps making him a headline.
What do you make of LeBron's comments?
That this is all his fault. All of it. When we get to Bronny James, that kid has done nothing. The kid has done nothing but work hard, try to get on his game and all of this other stuff. Any attention that he's warranted has been because of his daddy. I want to play with my son. I want to stay here until my son gets to the NBA. We've seen interviews with Savannah and LeBron, and they were asked about Bronny. What did she say? I just want my son to be healthy and happy.
Right.
LeBron, I want to be in the NBA. That's what we want.
Stephen A. has been saying the same thing from the jump. He's been telling LeBron to let Bronny develop naturally and stop trying to force this father-son duo moment in front of the cameras. And look, we get it. A father and son playing on the same team is legendary in any sport. It would be even bigger for LeBron and Bronny since it's never been done in the NBA before. Sure, we've seen it happen in other sports, but in the NBA, it would be a historic moment. Look at Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. They weren't just the first father-son duo in the MLB. They played in the same outfield and created some of the most unforgettable moments together. Now that's how you make history. And don't forget Gordie Howe, one of the greatest hockey players ever. The man grabbed 4 Stanley Cups, 6 MVPs, and when he retired, he held the NHL record for career points. He even made the NHL's 100th anniversary team. But as legendary as his career was, one of the coldest things he ever did was hit the ice with not one, but 2 of his sons, Mark and Marty Howe. And it wasn't just a one-time moment. They played together for 5 seasons. Now, LeBron has been loud about how his biggest dream is to share the court with Bronny, but here's the real question. Does Bronny even want the same thing? And if he does, is he ready for it? A lot of fans are saying LeBron needs to ask himself what truly matters more. Sharing the court with his son for the cameras, or letting Bronny build his own legacy and become great on his own terms. And trust Stephen A. Smith to always remind him of that.
When we get to Bronny James, that kid has done nothing. The kid has done nothing but work hard, try to get on this game and all of this other stuff. Any attention that he's warranted has been because of his daddy. I want to play with my son. I want to stay here until my son gets to the NBA.
Stephen A.'s latest take on Bronny must have hit a nerve with LeBron, especially since Stephen first made these comments on ESPN right after Bronny's rough night in the Lakers lost to the 76ers. Bronny was out there on the court for 15 minutes and didn't drop a single point. It was a tough game for him, but let's keep it real. It wasn't exactly shocking. Bronny's coach, J.J. Redick, looked straight up disappointed during the post-game press conference. He tried to explain it away, saying Bronny was just struggling under the bright lights and crazy media pressure. But let's be real, that excuse is starting to sound like a broken record.
Just felt like on a back-to-back, just him giving us energy, I think, was the goal. I maybe put him in a tough spot, flying up yesterday and, nationally televised game and Philly, all that stuff. It's, he didn't play well, but he's been playing great, in the Stay Ready games, and he's been playing great in the G. So I have confidence in him, but obviously didn't provide that at a high level.
One thing was clear. Bronny's own coach knew they set him up for failure by pushing him way past his limits. And you already know Stephen A. Smith wasted 0 time going in on LeBron for this. He told him straight up to stop forcing it. According to Stephen, Bronny just isn't ready yet, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with letting the kid build up his skills and confidence in a lower stakes environment before throwing him into the NBA spotlight. To drive his point home, Stephen even pulled up Bronny's stats, and let's just say they weren't what you'd expect from someone getting NBA minutes. Stephen A. took it a step further on his show, tossing even more shade at LeBron. He said LeBron was pushing his own dreams onto Bronny without even thinking about how it could mess with his son's career down the line.
I do find myself looking at LeBron James instead of Bronny James. Because LeBron is the basketball savant. LeBron is one of the top 2 greatest players in the history of the game. LeBron has forgotten more basketball than most people would know. So no matter what we think about Bronny, he knows more. But you see what you see. Bronny James has played in 13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He shot 1 for 16 from the field in his NBA career and 0 for 7 from 3-point range. and he's playing in the first quarter of an NBA game?
Stephen A. made it clear he wasn't trying to throw shade at LeBron or talk down on Bronny's talent. He emphasized that he would never do that. His whole point was that he's looking out for Bronny. He doesn't want to see Bronny's potential get wasted just because LeBron is locked in on this father-son NBA moment.
I am not a person that had a problem with Bronny James being on the court for the season opener with LeBron James. That was a phenomenal moment to see a father on the court with his son who has NBA aspirations playing together for the first time in NBA history. The Griffeys in baseball, Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. were in attendance for it. It was a special moment. My position has always been that should have been the only moment we saw Bronny James in a Lakers uniform this season, because he's not ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be an NBA player. I'm not here to tell you that he should give up his dreams and his aspirations. I think the kid's got potential. I think the kid will be in the NBA one day. I watched him in the G League doing his thing. I think he's going to be fine eventually. But that's not the case yet.
And to be fair, Stephen A. made some real points. Bronny isn't looking good out there in the NBA, and there's no room for him to sharpen his skills. It's only a matter of time before the league chews him up and spits him out if they keep forcing him into games before he's ready. Daddy's money and influence can only take Bronny so far, but LeBron wasn't about to let Stephen A.'s comments slide without a fight. Things took a wild turn when Stephen A. Smith and LeBron ended up in the same stadium during the Lakers versus Knicks game, which the Lakers won that night. Stephen was chilling courtside while LeBron and Bronny were out there doing their thing, but nobody could have predicted what went down next. During the third quarter break, LeBron suddenly marched right up to Stephen A., and it didn't take long before things got heated. LeBron confronted Stephen about his comments on Bronny, straight up telling him to keep his son's name out of his mouth. It was tense, but that wasn't the end of it. At first, nobody knew exactly what LeBron said during that heated moment, but it was obvious from their faces that it wasn't a friendly chat. Later, LeBron was caught talking about it with ESPN's Richard Jefferson during a Lakers versus Celtics game, and part of their conversation got picked up on camera. It didn't take long for fans to figure out why LeBron was so fired up. Fans were buzzing, with many taking LeBron's side, dragging Stephen for supposedly calling LeBron a bad father just because he's trying to give Bronny the opportunities he never had growing up. But Stephen A. Smith wasn't about to let that slide. No way. He laid it all out when he pulled up on Gilbert Arenas' show, Gil's Arena.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father.
Stephen didn't back down from the drama. He straight up denied that he was shading Bronny or calling LeBron a bad father, but he didn't stop there. Stephen doubled down on his earlier comments, saying anyone who couldn't see or refused to accept that LeBron's decisions around Bronny's career were questionable was just delusional.
You want me? Draft him. I'll come play anywhere he's at. It ain't even about the money. This man is the one who said he's better than some of the NBA players are right now when he was in high school. If you go back and look at the tape, back then I said, stop. You can't do this. If you do that shit, you're bringing more pressure on your son. LeBron, stop. I said it then. This is before he got drafted. Stop doing this. If we see this, you're his dad and you're a basketball savant. You must see this. don't do this. Because you're putting him under such a microscope. It's gonna be too much for him to overcome. Give him a chance. So that's what I said. And because I prefaced it by saying, as a dad, the only reason I said as a dad is because you marketed yourself as his dad to help him get into the league. You didn't do that. Melo didn't do that, or hasn't yet, and I know he wouldn't.
D-Wade,
Tim Hardaway Sr., Rick Barry, the list goes. None of them did that. None of them. He's the only one. And I said, yo, that's why I'm saying this to you. I don't want to do this. I know your intentions are honorable. Go back and watch the whole tape of me saying it. I know your intentions are honorable. I know you don't mean harm. But there's some vultures out here, and they gonna come for him.
The internet is split on this drama. Some people are riding with Steven, saying LeBron's acting like a bully, while others think LeBron is just pushing Bronny too hard and dropping way too much pressure on him. It's one of those situations where you either get where Steven's coming from, or you see LeBron as a dad just trying to give his son a shot to shine. But let's keep it real. LeBron flipped public opinion when he jumped on the McAfee podcast and threw those harsh words at Stephen A., leading Charles Barkley to call him out for being a bully. All while Stephen A. kept it clear over and over that he wasn't being malicious toward LeBron or Bronny. He was just saying what everyone else was too scared to say out loud about LeBron. Anyway, I want to know what you think about all this. Do you agree with Charles Barkley that LeBron's out here acting like a bully? Or do you think LeBron just needs to ease off and let Bronny find his own path without all the extra noise? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you want more real breakdowns like this. Hit that bell so you never miss the drama, and I'll catch you in the next one.